Wasn't surprised at all.
No.
I mean, it seems completely makes sense, but that's exactly what I expected.
Yeah, it seemed like just a matter of time for him.
There's no way you can look like that. In your 40s, I mean, he's preposterously jacked.
Black belt in jiu-jitsu. Again, buddy, this is how you know he's not thinking clear. You can't fight. I know you think you're tough, but there's levels to that. And he might be a tough guy. And there's a lot of tough guys. And I know he, walks barefoot and takes hits laying down and does enemas, and he's tough in his world. There's levels to toughness, dude.
Joe Rogan has broken his silence on the Liver King situation, stating that he is prepared to see Brian Johnson, known as the Liver King, go to jail. Johnson was released from a county jail in Texas on Wednesday after posting a $20 bond, following his arrest on charges of making a terroristic threat against Rogan. The arrest came after Rogan informed detectives that Johnson's online posts made him feel threatened, particularly due to Johnson's public challenge to a fight and his use of aggressive, provocative language. Johnson was taken into custody at the Four Seasons Hotel in Austin, where he had been staying.
Yeah.
I would take that aboard anything and everything. Because Joe Rogan, we don't have to make videos to pretend anymore. All of this is happening. We're coming to you. I challenge you man to man to a fight.
Following his release, Johnson was issued a restraining order requiring him to stay at least 200 yards away from Joe Rogan and any member of Rogan's family. The court also ordered him to undergo a mental health evaluation within 1 week, citing concerns about his psychological condition and overall behavior leading up to his arrest. Despite these restrictions, Johnson resumed posting to his 3 million Instagram followers almost immediately. He doubled down on his combative stance toward Rogan, reiterating his desire for a physical fight. In one of the videos he said, "We came here to pick a fight, and we're going to do it," directly challenging Rogan with, "I would love to man-to-man challenge you to a fight. No one's going to die, but I hope we'll both get hurt."
Joe Rogan's town, Austin. I was here before you, Joe Rogan. Texas, that's my home. This week you probably might need to worry about me. You probably need to worry about Joe Rogan more. You'll never come across something like this. Willing to die, hoping that you'll choke me out all week, Joe Rogan. So when I'm like, hey, anybody know my name? Liver King. Who am I fighting? Joe Rogan.
In another post, Johnson claimed that the Wi-Fi password in his hotel room was "FU Joe Rogan," continuing to escalate the antagonism. At one point, he even joked that his real issue might be with actor Seth Rogen, a pivot many found difficult to take seriously given the nature of his prior threats. While in his hotel room, Johnson wore an ankle monitor and stated that he was under a curfew from 9 p.m. to 6 a.m. He recorded himself crawling on all fours down a hallway at the Four Seasons Hotel, a gesture many observers interpreted as another attempt to attract attention through bizarre or primal behavior, which has become his trademark online. Court records and police reports show that Rogan told Austin police he had never had any personal interaction.
I heard about it, and anybody who's talking about this, I love it. You're helping me do my job. This is my purpose in life. And as much as it is what we eat, it's also what we don't eat. So to answer your question, I love it when people are talking about eating carnivorously. I think Joe Rogan shows that he has a transformation when he does it. I don't know why he does it longer.
According to Rogan, his only connection to Brian Johnson was through public commentary. On episodes of The Joe Rogan Experience, he had discussed Johnson's steroid use and mocked his so-called ancestral lifestyle, which promotes eating raw meat and rejecting modern comforts. Rogan's critiques appear to have contributed to Johnson's outburst, ultimately leading to the public threats and his arrest. In a post-arrest video, Johnson said, "I'm here in Austin for one word: family." He claimed the real issue was that a bully, presumably Rogan, had underestimated the emotional and personal impact of publicly criticizing him. Johnson accused Rogan of encouraging others to pile on and spread misinformation. He seemed to be referencing the Netflix documentary Untold, The Liver King, released in May, which detailed Johnson's steroid use and the controversies surrounding his fitness empire. The documentary featured interviews with Johnson, his family, and business partners, offering a wide-ranging look at how his brand rose to fame and eventually became mired in scandals.
I say that this is a complicated as fuck topic because before social media, I was rich and anonymous, and after social media, I'm still rich, no longer anonymous, and I never expected this kind of exposure
Court documents reviewed by outlets such as TMZ stated that Rogan was confused about why Johnson was targeting him. He reportedly expressed concern for Johnson's mental state and said the threats were inexplicable. Rogan made it clear to authorities that, despite never having met Johnson in person, he felt the need to take the situation seriously. In one of the videos Johnson uploaded after his release, he said to Rogan man-to-man, "I'm picking a fight with you." He acknowledged that Rogan would likely win any physical confrontation due to his background in martial arts. Rogan holds a black belt in jiu-jitsu, a fact Johnson openly mentioned in his challenge. Nevertheless, Johnson insisted he was still willing to fight, reinforcing his confrontational stance despite the court-ordered restrictions.
Literally right to my face would say, like, blatantly, I am natural.
There's some people that are really jacked that are natural.
For sure.
I fucked up.
I don't know if you guys are able to watch. That's what I was leaning to, is just like, I feel like his overall body composition is pretty consistently represented. I don't think it's implants. So, well, granted, then it's like, well, if it's unnoticeable, would you even...
You only see the stuff.
In one of the now viral clips, Johnson is seen holding gold-painted guns and wearing a wolf pelt hat while delivering threats against Rogan. The visuals appear deliberately crafted to emphasize his wild man persona and attract as much attention as possible. Staring directly into the camera, he declared, "Your rules. I'll come to you whenever you're ready." This post was made just before he was taken into custody at the Four Seasons Hotel. Footage of his arrest shows Johnson being escorted to a police car by officers in the hotel's parking lot. After his arrest, he was formally charged with making a terroristic threat, specifically for causing fear of imminent serious bodily harm. His mugshot shows him with a beard and disheveled hair, staring directly into the camera. The investigation into his threats is ongoing, with police still examining the full scope of Johnson's online behavior and how it may relate to the criminal charges.
And then anything else that you could break on me, break it on me. I hope that you won't feel me tap. That's never happened, tapping, because I have something actually to fight for. Actually, that's my family.
I know this is sort of like, what the fuck is going on there? And some of these clips might be a little bit humorous, but this is also not great. Like, you look at the comment section, and everyone is genuinely like, oh my god, he's lost his mind. People are
Johnson has long portrayed himself as a barbarian, gaining a massive online following by promoting a raw meat diet and unconventional health philosophies. He frequently makes provocative statements, such as "why would I have vegetables when I can eat testicles?" and credits his muscular physique to consuming raw liver, bone marrow, and other animal organs. This lifestyle has drawn both attention and skepticism, especially after his steroid use was revealed. In 2022, Johnson became the subject of a $26 million lawsuit following his admission that he had used steroids. Despite previously claiming to be completely natural, the revelation severely damaged his credibility and sparked broader conversations about honesty within the fitness influencer community. His claim of being all natural was a central selling point for his brand and the products he marketed, which included supplements aligned with his so-called ancestral lifestyle.
What do you think they're thinking?
And they really know me. I mean,
Yeah.
First thing I do, I get up, I make a good morning story. I mean, I'm filming stories all throughout the day, every single day, to let people in.
Yeah.
And I think, I don't know how really to answer this other than I let them all down. I said that I didn't do this thing, said that I didn't do steroids this whole time, and I've been doing them. And so I think that when you're
In a
dishonest...
sit-down interview with Piers Morgan, Johnson expressed deep regret over his deception. He said, "I feel like a total piece of crap. I know what I did was wrong. I lied about it. I feel like I've let an entire generation down." His words came after months of scrutiny, backlash, and the public unraveling of the image he had worked hard to build. Despite these past controversies, Johnson continues to behave as though he is above reproach, even after his arrest and with a restraining order and court-ordered. Mental health evaluation looming here has not toned down his rhetoric. His continued videos challenging Rogan suggest that he is more interested in escalating the situation than resolving it or stepping out of the spotlight. It remains unclear whether his actions will result in further legal consequences or mental health interventions, especially if he continues to disregard court restrictions and use social media to provoke public figures.
Use Joe Rogan's name to get attention, and it's just one big publicity stunt. Clearly, there is no end game. There's nothing happening with Joe. It doesn't matter that he's still in Austin. It doesn't matter that he's out of jail. Nothing is going to happen, and I think it's clear he's just faking this whole thing. Let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. Like and subscribe for more.
Rogan, for his part, has largely stayed out of the public back and forth beyond his initial statements to police. According to most observers, his original commentary on Johnson's steroid use and diet, while mocking, was not personal in nature. Rogan has long used his platform to scrutinize health and fitness claims, and his remarks about Johnson fit within a broader pattern of questioning influencers who promote extreme or unconventional lifestyles while profiting from the trust of their audiences.
Why do you still got it? It's just and I guarantee you. Why? Yeah, why do people get like so recent and shit with like the Liver King and stuff, like he came out and said he's out and all that shit? I don't even give a fuck. They're doing it here. I don't care. Yeah, I even think about it sometimes, or sometimes you get that thought. Hey, well, this is genius thing.
Johnson is known for his hulking physique, one that has sparked frequent debate online. Due to its exaggerated muscular proportions and extremely low body fat, these features are not typically associated with a natural lifestyle, despite Johnson's long-standing insistence that his results were the product of an ancestral diet and rigorous discipline. For months, he denied using any performance-enhancing drugs, continuing to promote his image as a fully natural bodybuilder and fitness entrepreneur. That narrative began to unravel when leaked emails revealed he was spending over $10,000 a month on steroids and other substances.
People about your steroid usage.
Because of what it implies. I think a better question really is, it's the same question, do you take things? My answer has been the same because I've always told the truth. And you can say or think whatever you want.
Of course.
But at the end of the day, this is what my message is really all about. Did you know 50 years ago, we had on average 50% higher testosterone? If you just think about that, we could probably go 50 to 100% higher just by doing the 9 ancestral tenets. Isn't that what most people do with steroids to increase their testosterone by?
This revelation triggered widespread backlash, with Joe Rogan emerging as one of the most vocal critics. Having already expressed skepticism about Johnson's claims, Rogan used his platform to address the situation head-on. He described Johnson's conduct as deceptive and suggested that his repeated efforts to appear on the Joe Rogan Experience were part of a broader attempt to control the narrative and deflect
accountability. Line between who you are, and what the lie is. So what I'm seeing here is that the guy's realizing, like, shit, now, you know what, I fucked up. I know that it was wrong, but then I was justifying because I'm not an athlete. I'm justifying because, you know, even though people asked me, did you take this? And you said no. It was a plain lie. But in his mind, he was lying for a reason. And those are the things that we have to be careful of. When we are telling a lie, and what we know is a lie, but we're justifying it,
Speaking on his podcast, Rogan recounted seeing Johnson multiple times in public, including in the front row at a show in Las Vegas and again at a boxing match involving Canelo Alvarez. He was trying really hard to get on the podcast. He's still trying, Rogan said, noting that Johnson had even contacted several of his friends in an effort to secure an appearance. Rogan went on to criticize the idea of giving Johnson a platform to explain himself, questioning what he could possibly say at this point. According to Rogan, it was clear that Johnson had run a con and was now simply
because he's out there saying, I'm not on steroids. I'm not on steroids. That's the tenets. It's these things. And it's like, fuck, everyone knows in the community, but like the majority of the public likely.
So you knew, like,
bro, I mean, it's like, come on.
Well, the steroid scandal forced Johnson to issue a public apology, admitting that he had lied. His apology tour included an appearance with Piers Morgan, during which he acknowledged misleading his audience and said he felt he had let people down. Despite this, he continued to embrace the Liver King persona on social media, maintaining his bombastic tone and primal aesthetic. That behavior escalated in recent weeks with a series of bizarre videos targeting Rogan, eventually culminating in Johnson's arrest. He was taken into custody on a charge of making a terroristic threat after posting multiple videos in which he openly stated his desire to fight Rogan. The videos were erratic and theatrical, filled with vague threats and dramatic.
I cannot even believe that this is real, but it is real. The Liver King was arrested.
We got a breaking exclusive for you from our sources. The Austin Police Department, as we speak, is on its way to a hotel in downtown Austin.
In some videos, Johnson avoided saying Rogan's name directly, instead referring to someone whose name rhymes with Rogan, or even mentioning Seth Rogen, despite clearly referencing Joe Rogan's comedy club, the Comedy Mothership, located in Austin. In one video posted after his arrest, Johnson discussed his current legal situation without naming Rogan, yet included enough specific details to make it obvious who he was referring to.
Because he's been making a lot of bizarre cryptic threats to Joe Rogan. He's in trouble with fighting, and now he's there in special videos that are his a direct threat. And so I am told that he's going to be arrested for terroristic threats. And he says how crazy society is going. In the videos, he looks extremely to raise the pupils, and so we helped the Liver King get.
He talks about the comedy mothership and describes a mysterious box that law enforcement initially mistook for a dangerous object. The whole time that terroristic threat you thought was a bomb or something inside that box sits actually a present for you and your mothership colleagues, he said. The meaning behind these statements remains unclear, and much of his messaging continues to follow a disjointed, rambling pattern similar to his earlier posts.
Talk about Liver King. Do you know that our podcast was the first public forum where he was asked about doing steroids, and then he got exposed being on a clone?
If you ask me, yo, how would you describe Liver King in person? He is a sweet man.
But so smelly.
Like, if you were to die in Coney Island and your body wasn't discovered for like 13 to 17 days, that would be the smell that is secreted from his arm.
Johnson also confirmed in his videos that he was now wearing an ankle monitor and was under a restraining order, preventing him from coming within 200 yards of Rogan or his family. He stated that he had been ordered to undergo a psychiatric evaluation, which would begin that week and continue on a monthly basis. Despite this legal intervention, Johnson continued posting videos on social media, insisting that the content would never stop. He spoke cryptically about venom fights and eventual reconciliation, adding, "At some point, you have to capitulate something. Real tension, real fight." So guys, subscribe to my channel for more new updates.